last week because the tip on it is very hard. It's very hard to control. It doesn't flow as easy as a pencil does, or this. But I'll give it another go anyway. And I'm going to be drawing it in this pad. So, and I'd also like to say thanks to all those people who left a comment on my post last week as well. Thank you very much. First, I'm just going to quickly draw it up with, let me think, should I use a pencil? Yeah, okay. I'm going to draw my bedroom here, if I can still remember it. The house is now sold, and my family has moved to a different location. They moved to South Auckland, but we used to live in Remuera in an old state house, and I have a lot of fond memories of this place and memories of things I certainly don't want to remember. So we all have those, I guess. So it was a strange looking room. It was a rectangle sort of room. This is going to be a very simple drawing today. And the door was sort of in there, and there was a window right there. I'm trying to put it all in perspective because if I had a ruler, maybe I'll do a video of that next time. So this is my bed here, and this is the wall across the back here. Okay, I'm going to add some pens in there to brighten it up so you can see a lot better. I'll use the dark one, it might be a bit better. So I had this whole room to myself. In fact, the state house that we were living in, my mother and I, it was only a 2-bedroom place. It had a lounge, a kitchen, and a wash house and a bathroom, and that was it. Now, I'll just put my head here and a pillow here. Now, I'm not sure how old I was. I think I might have been 7, maybe 6, not sure. Put a headboard here. Let's fix this up here. Back in the time when I saw these things, I wasn't sure if I had the flu or my mother had given me some medication. I was hallucinating, but was I? I wasn't sure, because I was wide awake and I can remember everything. We'll come to that. First, let's just draw the windows. These are nice straight windows. Now outside the window there used to be a plum tree that grew black Dorises, and they were the most yummiest plums I ever had. It was on the bank of the property. In fact, this part of the property sort of sloped down and you had to walk up into the house. It's a bit of a challenge. But later on, my mother met someone and they changed the house into a 3-story place, and then they sold it. They sold the property and they moved to South Auckland. So there's the window, and I'll put some eaves along here. Now, I didn't have many toys at that age, so except I did have a box of cars. So let's do a box, and I kept them nice and tidy in an orderly manner in my little box. I used to talk to them like they were my friends, and the screens with their eyes and the wheels with their feet. Isn't it funny, years later the movie Cars comes out. I'm talking about 30 years later the movie Cars come out. So I'd already was doing stuff like that at an early age. Right, so this is my bedroom. Pretty boring. I think I may have had a wardrobe here, I wasn't sure. Maybe there was. Maybe there was a wardrobe here. Got a handle here. I know there was a PowerPoint here because one time I put a knife in between the two elements. I pulled the plug out and I dropped a knife in and the whole wall exploded, and I just was fascinated. I wanted to know what would happen if I connect a metal knife to the parts that are electrical. What will happen? Well, I found out. And it left a massive hole in my knife. So, thank goodness I didn't touch it with my hands. I have been electrocuted a couple of times. Or touch electric power is horrible, absolutely horrible. It was, how can I describe it? It's like someone got a hammer and just bash your thumb really hard. That's this feeling, that's the sensation of it. I'll put a poster here while that mark's there. I didn't have many things on the walls. Anyway, it's out of perspective anyway. I can change it. Why not? I can do whatever I want. Now, what were the things? Star Wars? No, it wasn't around at the time. This is the early 70s. We didn't even have a TV at that time. So yes, I must have been quite young. Oh, this could be a mirror. Yeah, it could be a mirror, but it's very high to be a mirror. Okay. Let's put a ceiling in this. And let's finish this bed off here. Board. And so on. Not a very good looking bed, but never mind. That's not what the drawing's all about. Now, one time I woke up and I saw these objects floating around, and they were shaped like this, like spheres, and they were bright. and they were everywhere. One here, and maybe a star, I don't know. But I saw all these different shapes floating around in my room. And they were there. I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes and they were still there. So I didn't know what they were. And they were moving around the room. They were in front of me. If you have ever experienced anything like this, write it in the comments box below. There were triangles and squares and circles, and they were floating around the room. And I called out to my mother. My mother was in the room next door. And I said to my mother, "Mum, come in, please, come in the room. I'm seeing things." And my mother, she came in the room and I pointed them out to her. And I said, "Can you see what I'm seeing? I'm seeing all these objects." And they were colourful too. They weren't just black and white. They were all different colours and bright, and they were moving around. So let's do some actions here while they're moving around. And my mother said, "No, I can't see what you're seeing." And I could see them in front of my mother. And she was looking around the room and she couldn't see anything. So I drew a picture of my mother here. Looking in the room. Let's draw my mother here. My mother had blonde hair. And she was very tall, like me. I'll do an arm here. And I guess they seem to pass through her, these objects. I love drawing from my imagination. It's so challenging. Sometimes the drawings come out, sometimes they don't. So there's my mum, and she's looking around the room and she's wondering what's going on here. Now, did I have the flu? Was I on medication? Was I hallucinating? I just don't know. But the most interesting thing was I could feel these objects as well. I weren't just seeing them. I can feel them in my hands. So if I have my hand like this, I could feel the square block in my hand as it was right on the very edge of the of it, and I could feel the edge of the block as it was in my hand, and the sensation I was feeling as if the block was getting bigger in my hand, and I was trying to hold on to it, trying to not let go, and it was pressing into my fingertips, that very sharp edge of, let's put my thumb here, of the block. There's my hand. My cat's trying to get into the room. And let's just say, I can't describe it. Whenever I get a flu or I'm feeling, I don't know, it's a sensation that I get. It comes and goes, and I still get it today. This, not this, but this. And also with the round balls as well. I could feel in my hand the round balls, but they weren't soft and spongy. They were spiky, like a sea urchin, with lots of spikes. And again, I could feel those prickles, or those points, in my hand. As well. So I could feel these objects in my hand, and it was the most weirdest sensation I ever had it, and I still remember it today. Yeah, so I woke up, I'm not sure. Maybe I woke up from a dream. Maybe I was still dreaming, and I was half asleep, still awake, not sure, but I was certainly awake when I called my mum and she came in the room, and I was very surprised that these things were still floating around in the room while she was trying to see what I was trying to see, and she couldn't see them. But I said, "Mum, can't you see them?" She said, "No, I can't see them." I said, "They're everywhere." And they were all different sizes, big and small, and triangles and squares. Maybe it's something I saw the night before in a book. I don't know, but I guess not, because but even today I still feel these objects in my hand. Now I was thinking to myself, what could I do that is really different